How to adjust your DJ style to DJ with just an iPad. I'm DJ Spiegel, and in this video we're going to talk about it. So if you guys watched my previous videos and you know a little bit about my background, I was never good with computers. I never owned a laptop. And when I found out that you could DJ with a phone, I got obsessed because I always wanted to DJ, but I didn't think it was accessible to me. And then I got an iPad, and once Djay Pro added streaming services and I didn't have to download files and stuff like that, I really went crazy with it and been obsessed with Djay Pro for about 7 or 8 years, DJing with the iPad. But I know that most other DJs started out DJing either with turntables and a mixer or a laptop and Serato and a controller. So to switch over to DJing with just an iPad, you're going to have to adjust your style a little bit because there's some limitations and there's some advantages of just DJing with an iPad and no controller. Even if you plan on DJing with Djay Pro on the iPad and a controller, it's still very important to know how to carry on a mix using just the iPad in case the controller, something happens with the controller, or you need to charge the iPad and have to unplug the controller. So it's a good idea to know how to DJ with just the iPad. Also, then if you could DJ with just your iPad or even just your phone, then you're always prepared to do a DJ set. Let's say you go on vacation somewhere and they say, oh, the DJ got sick or something. Is anyone a DJ? You could say, yeah, I'm a DJ. And then you could go to your room, grab your iPad, and you're ready to DJ. So it's really exciting. Also, we could do gigs in places that previously was not acceptable because there wasn't enough room, nowhere to put all the equipment and stuff like that. But now that we could DJ with just the iPad, it opens up whole new opportunities for us. So let's get right into it. So the first thing that you're going to have to adjust if you plan on DJing with the iPad only is no headphones. So there are adapters that you could plug in that'll split the output. So if you go over here, I think you have to have one of these adapters plugged in, but there'll be an option to split the output. So if you go over here to pre-queuing, you could split the output. So it's just basically a headphone cable with two ports, and one is for the headphones and one is for the main output. But I've tried these and I found that they're unreliable. They get disconnected, and now that the iPad uses USB-C as the connection, and I believe that's good. That's the future. They're not going to make the iPads with the regular Lightning connection. That you're going to have to use multiple adapters, and the more adapters you use, the less reliable and the worse sound quality you get. So I would recommend just getting rid of the headphones altogether and start learning how to DJ using visual cues. So let me load up a song here. So here's my example song. So I could tell just by looking at this where some parts of the songs are. Djay Pro gives us very precise color-coded waveforms. So you could see that where it's small over here, this is going to be like an intro type sound like this. And then where it gets bigger over here, it's going to be that bassy, punchy, and more bass and more heavy. So you could adjust your style this way, so you know just by looking at the track, you know what's going to happen in the track. And then you could also tell that there's going to be a drop right here because it gets small and then it goes boom and then there's a drop. Now, a way to take this a step farther is to put cue points on all of the songs we plan on playing, and Djay Pro gives us the option to color code them. So you could say, I'm gonna start my mixes when it's this color, and then I'm gonna end my mixes when it with the red cue point, and then just by looking at the color you could see, and then also you could write. So this over here says start. That's where I'm going to start the song. This is the first drop. This is the second drop. So now I know just by looking at the waveforms, I know where everything is in the song, and I don't have to use headphones to find out and to do my mix, because I can mix with the visual cues. So another thing that you're going to have to get used to is how you're going to position your iPad and how you're going to position your hands, because it's really hard to DJ like this. If you just set it flat on a table, it's not going to be fun to DJ. You're going to hurt your neck, and then when you DJ, you're going to be doing the same thing for a long period of time. So I would recommend getting a stand so the iPad could be like this, not completely vertical, but maybe on like a 60 or 70 degree angle, so that you have access to use your hands. And another thing that I would recommend, if you don't plan on using a controller, is adding a mouse. So with a mouse, now you have more control. So if we go over here to the mixer, you see these filters here? They're kind of hard to do with your finger, because you can't turn the knob. You just have to put your finger on them, and then you have to move your finger left or right. But with a mouse, you could be so much more precise, and then you could also adjust your stance, so you don't have to be on top of the iPad like this with your hands. You could have your mouse set up on the table, and then you could still use this hand to do stuff on the screen with it, but then this hand, you have the option to use the mouse. I found this to be very helpful, and even if you do upgrade the DJing with the controller, you could still have the mouse connected, so you could have your iPad, your controller, and the mouse, and you'll have so much more control than if you didn't have the mouse. And these, you could get a really good wireless Bluetooth mouse for like $15-20, which is a lot cheaper than getting a DJ controller. And another thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to, Djay Pro has given us some shortcuts and some hidden features that help us when we're DJing with just the iPad. And one of them is going to be, this. If you take the crossfader and move it all the way to the left, and then you just tap, so we're just tapping in the middle, the crossfader is going to be in the middle playing both decks, but when you let go of your finger, it's going to snap back. So this makes it easier to do cuts instead of using the crossfader, which is much easier than sliding this slider for the crossfader. Now we could cut to the middle and cut off. So if we wanted to do a chirp scratch, so this is a baby scratch, and then a chirp scratch. So you hear it kind of sounds like a bird. So I'm going to do 2 baby scratches and then a chirp scratch. So it makes it so much easier by having that feature to cut the crossfader. And then also there's another hidden feature, which is if you put 2 fingers on the deck, or I think on the waveform. Yeah, so if you put 2 fingers on the deck, the jog wheel, or the waveforms, so any way that you can move the record, if you use 2 fingers, it's gonna automatically cut the crossfader for us. So it's gonna sound like you're doing like a scribble scratch or a really advanced scratch, when really all you're doing is a baby scratch with 2 fingers. So that is another really good feature that helps us, because it's kind of hard to do that with just the iPad and no controller. And another thing that you're going to want to be aware of is iPad, usually, except for like the newest iPad Pro or iPad Max, iPad is going to have significantly less storage on the device than a laptop. So keep that in mind, and if you don't already DJ with streaming services, you might want to sign up for one of them, because instead of jamming up all the memory on your iPad or bringing along an external hard drive, you could DJ with millions and millions of songs from Tidal, from Beatport, from BeatSource. These are all our sources, so that you could switch up your style and make playlists that are from streaming services, and then now you don't have to worry about the space. Even if you have an iPad that's like 64 gigs or less, you could still have a great DJ experience with just the iPad and streaming services. So I hope this gave you guys some ideas and helped you out if you currently are in a position where you can't upgrade to a controller or a laptop and all you have is your iPad or your phone, or if you've been DJing other ways and you just want to be good at DJing with the iPad. I really hope this helped. And I make videos about DJing with the iPad and tutorials on Djay Pro and also stuff about the future of DJing. So if you're into that type of stuff, subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. Thank you.